Hey, Kerbal, how you doing? REinstein here. Welcome, and thank you for joining me for episode 26 of our Kerbal Space Program career mode playthrough. Just a quick note before we start. I have now updated the game to version 1.1.3. I recommend you do the same. Some of the mods don't work, like the Kerbal alarm clock, but I'm sure it will get fixed in due course. Now, for this episode, we're going to be looking at, how can I put it, encountering and docking with another ship, and we're also going to be learning how to use a SCANSAT module, which is a mod which allows you to map out a planet in its entirety, find any anomalies, and find out the altitude of various parts of the terrain, as well as all the biomes and stuff. So it's pretty damn cool. So the contract we're going to be aiming to complete, everything has to be based on a contract. We need the money, right? Is 186,710. That's how much it's worth. We've got 12 years to complete it in. So we need to expand our orbital outpost around Minmus. Remember, previously we've landed a research outpost on Minmus. We've also got an orbital outpost around Minmus. Now, that doesn't have any scientific ability right now, so we are going to be launching the Minmus orbital outpost X1, which means expansion part 1. The important reason for adding a science module, or this, the mobile processing lab, is so that we can process some data that hopefully we can gain from the 9 biomes that are actually on Minmus. I hadn't realized there were so many, and there are. But before we launch this rocket, I don't want to show you the entire launch sequence. I want to show you the encounter and how you encounter and dock to another rocket. But before we do that, let me talk you through what we've got. So we've got the scan radar altimetry sensor right here. So if I extend that and show you what it looks like, you can have an idea of what we're aiming for here. So it currently, when it's extended, it looks like that. Now let me just rotate that around so it doesn't interfere with our photovoltaic panels. On the other side, we have the multispectral sensor. Now I'm just going to refer to this as the multispectral sensor and this one as the altimetry sensor. It'd be a lot easier that way. Yeah, so if we take a look inside our science section in the VAB, you can see by using the SCANSAT mod, you can then unlock these parts. And so this multispectral sensor has a weight of 0.03 tons, not entirely that heavy, costs 9,000 Kerbal credits, and it gives the capability to differentiate between terrain types and biomes, and it can also detect anomalies such as structures on the ground, which is kind of cool. It will show us like where our landing spots are and stuff like that. Next up is the altimetry sensor. This is quite funny. This is the entry-level model in the sensor family and commonly sold in a bundle with toy rockets and remote-controlled model planes. I'm sure it is. You can find it in a box of cereal near you. After focus group testing revealed that 95% of the target audience tried to duct tape it to the exhaust pipe of their rocket engines, this new and improved model has been made even easier to use. So by using these in combination, they actually have a specific height that they work best at as well. If we right-click, they generally tend to work best where it says altitude best of 250 kilometers, and they've got a specific field of view. So I think the way you use them is you need to alter your trajectory around the planet, but we'll get to that very soon. Alright, next time you see me, I'll be trying to encounter with my rocket. I'll see you in a second, guys. Alright everybody, so we have now escaped Kerbin and we're in a circular orbit around Minmus. So in order to do our rendezvous with the Minmus Orbital Outpost Part 2, which, let's just remind ourselves, that's what we're aiming for. We need to... yes, we had to have a facility supporting at least 13 Kerbals. Hence, the giant rocket that we had to launch. We got 3 in there, 5 in there, and we're golden, basically. I think. Anyway, so, in order to get our encounter, we need to set our target, which is that one. Now, that's going to bring up a problem, because your orbit is going to have a different inclination or a different angle to your target. So we can see it's 5.1 degrees. So when we get around there, hold on a second, which place is quicker? Alright, this place is quicker, and it's going to be in 7 days. Alright, so when we get around there, we want to change our orbit, and by dragging this pink thing up, we can change the ascending and descending nodes to as close to 0 as possible like we did before. Now remember, minmus itself has an orbital inclination of 6 degrees, so we had to change it around Kerbin to get our encounter with minmus. Now, we've only got a very, very slight change in delta V that we need here, which may be quite difficult to achieve, so it could be a case of having to do more than one attempt at doing this burn, but hopefully we'll get it right first time. So 2.9 seconds is really not going to take very long at all. The reason we do this is, or change our angle like this, is so that our encounter is a hell of a lot easier to get to. If you think about it, we're both going to be rotating around on the same plane around minmus, and it will make any encounter we're trying to achieve a lot easier. Right, there we go. That's nice and calm there. Beautiful. So, we're only 0.1 degree out now. Now, in order to get an encounter, we need to find out how we're going to do that. Exactly the same as if you're trying to get to a planet, but this time we're targeting another ship. So, we can pull our orbit in by dragging Retrograde here, and we'll see how that, or we'll see new little icons pop up. Now these new little icons are important. You want to try and get these two red ones as close together as possible, and the way you can do that is just by moving where you do the maneuver from around like so. So for example, both of my nodes, the pink ones and the red ones, are above each other there, or very close. So, and that's going to give us a separation of 3.5 kilometers. The importance of that is that once we're at 3.5 kilometers, then it's just a case of burning Retrograde and towards our target in order to get the encounter that we want. And I'll show you what I mean. So if we fast forward to the point where we're going to do our maneuver, remember, it's a tiny, tiny delta V change again, so you might need to be super, super careful. Same as I will have to with your shift key here. So let's just do it right about here. And I think we're good. We'll leave it there, and let's see how close that has gotten us. So, maybe a bit too far. Just a tad. So we can just rotate in the opposite direction on our nav ball here. And burn there. Alright, that gets us to a separation of 13.7 kilometers. I'm happy with that. I don't want to mess around too much because we may lose our encounter entirely. So let's whiz around to this point, and I've just overshot it just ever so slightly. So you can see our target is now moving away from us, but it's within 13 kilometers, which is alright. Now what we want to do is burn Retrograde, which I was already facing, in order to kill off any relative velocity. So essentially that is going 25-ish meters per second faster than we are. So we need to speed up in order to approach it. We can accelerate just a tad toward the target vessel, or the target marker here, notify, which you can see is the little pink with a circle in it. So I'm going to speed up to about 30.5 meters per second, and you can see the target is now approaching rather rapidly. Minmus orbital outpost, the name, comes into play, or into view, and we're within 1.6 kilometers now. So again, I think we're going a little too fast possibly, so we'll get ready to burn Retrograde. Remember, Retrograde is simply to kill off the relative velocity, because obviously it's hard to match exact velocities, so that's why we need to do it. And it's getting within 400 meters. Keep an eye on my speed here. So our target, 2.1 meters per second. So that means it's going to be approaching us at 1.9 meters per second now. That's fine. So I'm going to get it down to 0.5. You want to get as lower speed as you can so you can control your approach a lot more. So I'm going to turn my rocket, take a look at the nav ball once more towards our target, notified by the pink circular icon. And I'm going to increase that to 4.1. And there it is. It's coming whizzing into view once more. So once we're within about 100 meters, I think we can go nice. We can get this done nicely. So I'm going to reduce that to 3. There we go. So I fast forwarded just a little bit there, but should be okay. So I'm going to kill my velocity right there. Now, an important thing when you're trying to dock is to set which part you want to dock to which part. So I'm going to control my rocket from this docking port. And we want to dock. Let's say we want to dock. I don't think I can see that docking port there, but there's one around the side that I want to dock to. But maybe we'll choose that one. So we'll choose that as our target that we want to dock to. Now, if you take a look at the nav ball, I'm going to turn off SAS. Take a look at the nav ball and watch what we do here. So we've got our target there. If I press R to turn on our RCS and press H, you need to use the I, H, J, K, L, and N for November keys. And you can see the little sort of prograde green marker. You want to get that over the top. Actually, I'm going to turn on SAS. You want to get that over the top of the pink target marker. The reason for that is because when they're perfectly aligned, that is when you'll be getting your approach, your attachment. So if I fast forward now, you can see we're moving ever so slowly towards our target. So I'm just going to speed that up just a little bit to 0.3 meters per second, just for our viewing pleasure. Remember, the whole aim of this mission is to attach our mobile processing lab and our little sensors so we can see what kind of maps we can generate and what kind of terrain minmus has. And this is really just a practice using those SCANSAT things, because I'm a little unfamiliar with them myself. But it's also so we can mainly attach this science research vessel, because I haven't researched anywhere near all of the research tree yet. Alright, now using these keys here, I, J, K, L, H, and N, you can position your green icon over the target icon and continue to approach. Now, usually this has a tolerance of about 0.2 meters per second, I've found. Sometimes even as high as 0.3, 0.4. But the important thing is, once you get close enough, your ports start to magnetize, and the magnetic thing will pull you in. So if you turn off SAS, it enables that to work a hell of a lot better. So if you're struggling to get an attachment, SAS may be the problem. Now let's just maneuver ourselves like so, and any minute we're going to have attachment. So it doesn't look perfect, but on the nav ball it looks good. So let's see how this works. Alright, we've nudged the rocket ever so slightly, and we've lost our attachment now. Oh, that's not good. That's not good, Riney. We've knocked the rocket as well. There we go. That's our target marker. There we go. Now this is going to be quite difficult, I think. But let's see if we can do this live. Alright, we're approaching it again. A little bit too fast, perhaps. Oh dear. Oh dear. We're going well out of control. No, REinstein. You failed, you big dumb goof. There we go. Alright, let's slow down and back this bad boy up again. Alright, we want to be going that way. I'm going to turn on SAS again, just for my convenience. Now we've got the retrograde marker over the top here, which isn't good. That means we're not going to attach. Okay, we're obviously flying away from our rocket, so let's press H to speed us towards it. There we go. That's looking tasty. Visually it's not looking good, but on the nav ball it looks good. Okay, we've nudging the rocket again. This is really far from perfect, guys. Try and do it a little bit better than Riney here. Let's go towards it again. There we go. Yeah, it's starting to get there. Come on, Riney. Move over the top. Okay, they're going to start to magnetize any second. God, this looks ropey, doesn't it? Jesus. Okay, now I'm trying to do it by eye and pressing the wrong buttons. Not good. Okay, once we've finally attached, we'll be happy. I think the ideal is to line up from really far back and then just move forward to it. There we go. Let's see how this works. It's looking quite good. Let's move it down so it points in the right direction. There we go. Come on. Attach, you brute. Okay, we're nearly attached. Look how close that is. So now the magnetism is starting to take charge. And it's trying its damnedest to join us together, even though I'm failing a little. Go on, just nudge the rocket into position. I'm pretty sure this is not how NASA do it. But this is how Reiny does it. This is redneck style. Come on, son. That's it. Keep moving around. That's it. Lovely, lovely. We're nearly there. Come on. Join together. Now if we turn off SAS. Come on, you can join. It's just trying to pull the entire rocket into position. This is ridiculous. But... oh, it's so close. Stop turning. There we go. Yay! We did it! Finally! So now we're attached. This is where we want it to be. Okay, so now all I'm going to do is right-click my altimetry sensor and start my radar scan. Out pops the equipment, looking lovely and sexy. And right-click the multispectral sensor. Now, you can see we've now completed that contract. That is good. That is a good thing. Okay, so we've got this little icon on the far right-hand side of the screen here, which looks like a little satellite. If you click that, you can see that Scan is now planetary mapping the terrain. We can change it from terrain to biome and back to terrain again. And we can also zoom in on the map, and you can change that to, you can change it between various things like 2 all the way up to 10 by the looks of it. I'm kind of learning as I go as well here. Toggle orbit, so you can have your orbit showing up on the map or not. And you can also get a big map, which is a little bit easier to read. So it takes some time to do this mapping, but eventually what happens is it brings up a map on here. Now you might need to choose what celestial body you're mapping. In our case, we're mapping minmus, and you can see that is our trajectory. Minmus orbital outpost part 2 as we go around the planet. Now we can toggle grid, we can turn that on and off, we can toggle colors on and off. We can take away the orbit, and you can see as we fly over, we've now mapped where Minmus Tower 1 is. We can actually see that, which is pretty damn cool. If I just close this a second and take a little look and show you what's actually happening here. As we rotate round, it's beaming down its little scanning equipment, however it's doing it, and it's only doing it over a certain width of the planet. Now I think what you may need to do is change the inclination of your orbit to eventually map all of it, but currently this is what we've got. So I'm just going to close this little window here and go back to the big map. There's some other things you can look at. You can toggle anomalies on and off. You can toggle flags on and off. So now I've turned that off. You can't see my Minmus Tower flag, but now we can again. Asteroids, we'll leave that. There's a legend which shows you, by the looks of things, the altitude that you're going to be at. Now, why isn't it showing me any color on here? That's what I'm not sure about. But essentially, eventually, once it's mapped the entire body, you'll be able to take a detailed look at this and see what exactly you're looking at. I know where I landed, so I know Minmus Tower is on the flats. So I'm assuming these dark regions represent the flats on Minmus, but I'm not entirely sure. If anyone knows any more than I do, please don't hesitate to get in touch. I'd love to hear from you. We can change different things here as well. We can change to slope or biome, but it doesn't seem to be showing me anything of importance. Aha, there we go. So that... oh, okay, now as we move our mouse over, it shows you how high different portions of the land below us is. So where my mouse is here, that's 4,500 meters in the Midlands. So this green area must be the Midlands. Red area is slopes, that's 3,500 meters. yeah, Greater Flats is this dark region. And we've got lowlands over there, which is a darker green. That's 1,000 meters. That's pretty damn cool. Alright, so I'm going to mess around with this and get it to change its orbit and map the rest of the planet. But that is pretty darn cool. So if you're struggling for finding a landing spot, this is a damn good tool to use. Now, I hope you've enjoyed this video and you found it valuable. I hope I haven't wasted your time. If I haven't, please click the like button and share the video with all your friends. And do try out SCANSAT. It's very useful. Not particularly with minmus, because we know what we're doing. But certainly with other planets. Especially some of the further out planets. I just want to show you something quickly before I go. Now, I want to do a mission to go to... Where is it? To Plock. Now, Plock might not look that far away, but it's actually got a travel time of 30 years. So next episode we may be sending a rocket towards Plock, but obviously it's not going to be all in one video because there's plenty we can be doing in that 30 years of travel time. But for now, REinstein has finished his video. God knows what on earth is happening to my rocket here, but let's turn off SAS and just let it recover a little bit. Maybe we'll turn on SAS again. I don't know. I'm sure that'll recover though. Thank you ever so much for watching. Please click the like button. Send me your thoughts. If you use SCANSAT, let me know. And have a great day, everyone. See you very soon. Bye-bye.